Hi everyone, Joe here from Jan's Lifestyle. I'm going to give you a quick walk around inside and outside of our Volkswagen transporters. I'll show you how to swivel both of the seats in the van. Normally you've got your lever down in the bottom right hand side of the seat. I'll always pull the seat forward, and then in the middle there's a lever. Pull that to the side and twist. As you can see here, this is the lever that you'll pull to swivel the seats. That comes over to the side, and as you pull that round, swivels on the base, and that goes into place. Now with the driver's seat, it's the same concept, but it's slightly different. So driver's seat, again, always pull forward, but because of the handbrake, what I'll always do is I'll actually rock it forward using the dial here. If it's a manual, put it into gear because we need to drop the handbrake. Handbrake down, levers in the same place, pull that to the side, swivel. Sometimes depending on the steering wheel, drop the armrest, bring the seat back and forth. You're just sort of rocking it into place. Normally it's going to sit at an angle, like so. Most of the things inside the van is operated for your leisure battery. So you have your light switches here. Right hand's for the bottom, left hand's for the one in the top roof, which I'll show you in a second how to do that. Left hand covered here, you've got your fridge, small freezer unit. Open it up, you've got a power button and temperature. So what you do, hold in this button here. That'll power up the fridge. Again, that all runs off your leisure battery, so as you drive the van that should charge, and then you'll pick whatever temperature level you want to go to. Always, if you're not using the van, we normally will shut off the fridge until about 24 hours before to save on the battery dying on it. But we always recommend, if you are on a site, rather than just purely relying on the leisure battery, plug it into the mains. That'll get that done for you. And always make sure if you open and close the cupboards, just push in the actual handles to keep those flush. Next thing would be your gas. So there's a underslung gas tank in all of our transporters. Before you want to turn on your heating, or if you want to do any cooking, as you can see here, we've got a 2-gas hob. We've got our sink. So before you do anything, you need to make sure this is your main shut off and turn on valve for your gas. So press this button here, you'll hear a click. That's you turning on your gas supply. If you're wondering, that this here is just for your brightness of the gauge. So at the minute we're about 3/4 full. This should last at least a minimum of 6 months, if not longer, depending on how often you're using it. But now that we're on, for the hob, press down on this. This is your igniter here. Press on that. So after that, it's got a wheel heating system. So you can see it's all very touch sensitive. This is you picking what temperature. Before you ignite this, you need to make sure you've got the gas on, otherwise it'll set off a system where you need to reset it. To turn it on, literally just press on this flame here. It'll be blue. Leave that about a minute, it'll turn red. You'll hear there is vents. It's all air blowing, so there's some vents in here, some underneath, so it's all air blowing, so you'll actually hear the heat. So leave that on and let that heat up until it's red. And then that's you literally picking your temperature. For your sink, not all the vans, this one does have it. If for any reason you're wondering why your water's not working, this button here, this is for your water pump. Make sure that's turned on. You'll hear the water pump actually firing up, and then there you go. It's roughly 25 litres. I'll show you as well where you refill the water. So that's that part all done. Right, so when it comes to your USBs and your plug sockets, so your USBs at the rear, they'll all operate off your leisure battery. If you got your ignition on, they'll not work, because for safety it cuts off all of the units and everything at the back. Your 3-pin plugs, however, they will only work if you've got hooked up at the mains. You do have in this drawer, you've got your electric hookup cable. So if you are on a site, you'll be able to hook up, and then that way you can use your 3-pin plugs. The reason for that is there is no inverter in these vans, so it just relies on 240 volt hookup, and then you'll be able to plug in kettles, computers, hair straighteners, anything like that that needs 240. You'll be able to connect into that and get that sorted. Water pump, I'll leave that on because I'll show you with the rear cold water shower, that needs to be on for that. You'll also see now the flame is red, so that'll be the heating now on. What you do before you turn it all off, press the flame, that turns it off. Turn off the gas before you start driving. Back seats out into the bed, you've got the lever down here at the right hand side. All you do, you lift that up, you have to hold it up. The good thing about that, if you let go of it, the seat will stop in place. So all you do is you hold that lever up, flip the bottom over, and then to put this bar here, lift that up towards you, that drops down. I'll show you as well for the back. You can drop down as your headrest. Then to lower your headrest, you've got the lever here on the left hand side, slightly opposite, you press down on that. So if you press down on that, you can drop this down. See, when you have your bed down, that's technically your headrest, so you can have it as a slight incline if you prefer. On the back here, so this is for your cold water shower. There is a nozzle. So, as I said earlier, just make sure you've got the water pump on. The nozzle plugs directly into here, twist it and lock it into place, and then the water comes out of the head. So yeah, to put the bed back up, basically always put your hand on top of the seatbelt holders, pull that up, wait till that clicks into place. Again, lift the lever up, flip that over, and then you're back to your seat. Open the roof first of all, and then we'll demonstrate closing it. So to open the roof, just want to pull the straps out from the side. You've got this button in here on both sides. You want to press in and hold, release the tension. Normally you bring this down to the seat on both sides, and then you literally just push up on the roof, and that's that. This is your other bed here. All you do is this here is push that as well. That gives you the space to move around. You do have your window at the front, and then your mesh at the sides. So just more ventilation and more light. You can fold these up and make it a lot neater, but it's just to give a bit more light and ventilation in the night time. Off. So in the top bed, you'll see at the back you've got a bungee cord. If for any reason you disconnect that for sleeping, just make sure that that is connected again before you pull the roof down. Just you can see it's pulling the tension away from the sides. What that is to prevent you from catching into these scissor hooks. You can see there's a slight bit of sort of scratching on there, so just make sure that's always on to prevent you from actually ripping the canvas. And then to pull the roof down, first thing to do, always pull the bed down first. Just because when you put it on the canvas, it'll start folding in. That'll make it a lot neater for you. Then what you do is on these here straps, you're just pulling them down. If you want, you can use both hands on each side, or if you're confident enough, you can just use both at once. You're pulling down gradually, and as you're coming down, what I do is push the front out, pull the sides in. Just want to try and have it as neat as possible. Pull it down a bit more. Again, just make sure you're away, and then this here pulls the tension. And what you want to do is before you fully, so these here you're pulling as physically tight as possible. If you can see, do a walk around before you take off. You can see we're not fully flush with the roof. That means you haven't pulled it tight enough. Have a walk around the whole van. Just make sure that is sealed with the roof of the van. Go in, pull. You pull. As you can see now the rubber's fully sealed, so that's the roof closed. And then just fold these here up, and then you want to just tuck them away so they're not actually hanging or dangling around your neck.